Activists and peaceful dissidents in Saudi Arabia may be facing prison time thanks to a new decree. It's known as the Royal Decree 44. And what it does is it criminalizes participating in hostilities outside the kingdom with prison sentences of between 3 and 20 years. Now, this was a response to something that they were experiencing with Saudis going to Syria and helping with the cause there, the civil war that's occurring in Syria. People would come back to Saudi Arabia with new ideas and they would challenge the government, and as a result, King Abdullah is like, no, we can't have any of that. We can't have atheists. We can't have free thinkers. We need to clamp down on that and make sure we criminalize them as soon as possible.
Now, obviously, part of this is against protesters, but for fun, they threw in atheists. And they said, if you're an atheist, we can convict you of that. And is it because they hate atheists so much? Actually, it's not. They just call dissidents and protesters atheists. Mm-hmm. And then they now say, not only can we imprison you, but you're technically now a terrorist.
Yes.
So atheists are terrorists by definition and will be imprisoned in Saudi Arabia. So let's get a couple of things straight. If you're an atheist or agnostic or really anything other than a fundamentalist Muslim, you're nuts to go to Saudi Arabia. They consider you a terrorist. So I guess they don't want us to go there anyway, so I guess it's not that big a deal to them, and they have all the oil money in the world, so they don't need tourism or anything like that. But let's treat them for what they are. They're backward, barbarian cavemen. Now, that's not to say the people of Saudi Arabia, I would love to liberate the people of Saudi Arabia from literally their dictators. You can put anything you like and to try to pretty it up and say Saudi Arabia is an important ally for us, meaning they have oil and they're willing to sell it to American companies, right? But that doesn't make them any less dictators. That's exactly what they are. So
what I would ask is, how does Saudi Arabia, the people of Saudi Arabia, feel about the fact that their king is weak? Right? That their dictators are extremely weak because they're so afraid of anyone being educated, of anyone questioning their authority. Why are they so afraid? If they believe so strongly in whatever it is that they're preaching, why are they so afraid of people going to another country, maybe questioning authority, getting more educated on certain issues, and raising some questions? Why is that? It's because they're weak and they question their own ideology. And that happens in other countries as well. Saudi Arabia is obviously not the only country that has that issue. We have authorities here in the United States that don't like to be questioned.
So some of the protesters in Saudi Arabia are even more fundamentalist than the Saudi leadership, right? And some of them are more liberal than the Saudi leadership. But the Saudi leadership doesn't care either way. If you're a threat to us, they use religion as a prop anyway. They don't really believe in the religion. So they say, okay, well, the ones who are Muslim Brotherhood, we're going to imprison them for being Muslim Brotherhood. For the ones that are atheists, we're going to imprison them for being atheists. In other words, if you cross us in any way, shape, or form, we're going to imprison you because we're a dictator. Now, let's look at the power of words. First of all, America popularized calling everyone who's against you terrorist. Mm-hmm. So when Mujahideen al-Khalq kills civilians inside of Iran, they're freedom fighters, okay? But if you kill civilians that are our allies, well, then you're a terrorist, right? So now the Ukrainians call each other terrorists. The ones who are against the Russian government, Russian-backed government, were apparently terrorists to Yanukovych. And for the people who deposed them, now the Russians are the terrorists. Everyone's a terrorist. And now atheists are terrorists. Anyone who opposes the government in Saudi Arabia is terrorist. Now, the more interesting part of this is, if you're opposed to us and you're part of the Mujahideen in Afghanistan or the Taliban in Afghanistan, well, then you're a warlord, okay? If you're opposed to us in Iraq, like Saddam Hussein was, well, then you're a strong man. Manuel Noriega in Panama, a strong man, a warlord, right? These are all very bad. If you're our ally, well, he's just a lovely king, like the gentle kings and queens of England, right? We're familiar with that. And it doesn't sound so harmful. He's not a dictator. He's not a strong man. He's not a warlord. He's just King Abdullah. And all of his enemies are terrorists. Well, if he's got oil, I guess it's so.